Hello people, I'm Ginnymetheral and I am a 4th generation witch. Sadly, today we're back inside because it's pouring with rain, even though it's bloody July. So I have lit some candles for extra atmosphere whilst I tell you about today's video, which is of my ever popular Almanac series. And so we're obviously going to look at witchcraft for the month of July. So as always with these videos, what I want to do is first of all go through a general overview for the month of July, and then we'll bore down into the nitty-gritty days and what witchcraft you should do when. So with that said, let's look at our overview. July is the height of summer. Summer in the Wiccan calendar is always May, June and July, July being the last month of summer and August being the start of the new season. And this is based on the Anglo-Saxon idea of the summer. For in July, the world is still a-growing. You know, fresh shoots are coming out and fresh plants are still pushing up through the earth. It is August where they start to ripen and set their seed, and so that's considered a more harvest and autumnal in feel, although it's still quite warm. So July is therefore still about the growth of plants, and isn't it the month of the wildflower? There are so many about and so many edible ones. This is the month to pick your wildflowers and dry them for the year for future use in potions. And so let's discuss quickly the wildflowers that you can eat in the month of July that you should be able to find in parts of the world that you live in. We're looking at honeysuckle, rose, chamomile, calendula or marigold, thyme, lavender, mint, that wonderful meadowsweet. Clovers are out, the red and the white, and such others as feverfew and tansy. Now, all of these flowers are edible and all of them have a really good energy to them, and I thoroughly recommend you collecting them, drying them and use them in future potions and spells, because especially with the honeysuckle, the rose, the meadowsweet and the wonderful little daisy-like feverfew, you can make a really good love spell. So I'm going to show you a simple biscuit recipe which uses edible flowers that are around you. So firstly, pick your flowers and press them for a couple of hours. I'm using feverfew because this is a happy one, but you could use roses for love maybe. The recipe involves using 1 egg and 150 grams of plain flour, 100 grams of softened butter, 25 grams of corn flour, 50 grams of caster sugar, a few drops of vanilla essence and 1 lemon. Start by creaming the butter, sugar, vanilla essence and juice of half a lemon together. Then add in the egg yolk and mix firmly. Finally, sift in all the flours and then mix the ingredients to form a soft dough. Roll the dough out onto a floured surface and cut into about 20 rounds, and these you can then start to decorate with the flour of your choice, just pressing them lightly onto the surface. Bake at 180 degrees for about 12 minutes. Finally, glaze with a mixture of lemon juice and icing sugar. I have used feverfew to bring happiness in my biscuits, but you could use rose petals for love, or perhaps even honeysuckle for the sweet things in life. The old name for July was haymonath by the Anglo-Saxons, which means the month of hay, but of course you make hay in July. It is also therefore a great time for the insects, and they are all at large. Now, this has a direct relationship with witchcraft because the wonderful glowworm is out and about at this time. It is the female of the species that glows, not the male. She's trying to attract him into her lair. But it is said that the fairies use the glowworms to set their circles and use their light to dance through the night. So, should you see some glowworms bobbing along anywhere, it is most likely that the fae will be with them. July is also the month for the seafaring folk. There is a lot of traditions around this time for the seafaring folk to ensure their safety. It was considered incredibly bad luck to see a mermaid, because mermaids, of course, lure sailors onto the rocks to shipwreck them. And so you don't want to see a mermaid. But in order to keep the mermaids at bay, you need to make a wreath of flowers and cast it onto the sea as an offering to those mermaids to ensure your safety. The Christians didn't like the fact that pagans in the time were obviously making offerings towards the sea, so they produced their own version of keeping their sailors safe, and they have Sea Sunday. This is, of course, where they have a mass and they pray for the souls and lives of our sailors. And finally, my favourite part of July is it is crop circle season. I love a crop circle. It appeals to the mathematical side of my brain when people put out mathematical and astronomical crop circles, and it also appeals to the slightly weird side of my brain because they're not all of them made with a man and a plank. Now, I don't know whether a crop circle is made by aliens or fairies or whoever, I just don't know. However, I do love them, and so I wanted to just show you a couple of my favourites from the past years. In the UK, we've got this village called Honey Street, which is in the Vale of Pewsey in Wiltshire. And Honey Street is the unofficial HQ for crop circle enthusiasts. So I thought I would let you know that if you want to go watching them, go to Honey Street, which is beautiful, has great cafes, and there you will find others to discuss the theory of crop circles with. July is also the month of the UK Festival of Rose Queens. Now, these are teenage or young women who are decorated with garlands that have roses and meadowsweet and beautiful July flowers woven into them. Now, nobody knows quite why Rose Queens came about. They thought it was just to cheer people up because young girls invented it and started doing it. I personally believe that it is based on some pagan ancient fertility rite. There are a lot of references to this being the case, but not really concrete facts. So I am going to choose to believe that it is based on a pagan fertility rite. Rose Queens oversee the fates and the fairs that fill July, because July is fate on fair season. Everybody is at it. Every village has got something going on, with the tombola, coconut shy and lucky dip and dog show, which we all love, don't we? My dogs never win at the local dog show. They just don't catch the selector's eye. And I think this is completely unfair, and those selectors really should buck up their game and notice how amazing my two dogs are. But they don't. Needless to say, with all the fates and fairs about, there are Morris men abounding. Now, I can't help it. I love a Morris man. They're so ridiculous. I like their bells that they ring. I like their bladder on a stick, their balloon on a stick thing, and I find them hilarious. I think I might have to join their company. Although me dancing with bells on might be a sight that nobody wants to see. That, therefore, is my overview of July. We are flower abundant and summer is at its height. Brilliant. Let's now get into the nitty-gritty, and I want to talk about the days. Let's start off and look at the 4th of July, which is, of course, as everybody knows, American Independence Day. And this is also the day of the aphelion, which means that the Earth and the Sun are furthest away from each other on their elliptical course today. And so the Sun is at its highest in the sky. It is the perfect day to do some sun rituals. If you are a sun worshipper, and aren't we all, in my opinion, then get out there. For you yoga enthusiasts, the old sun salute is the perfect thing to do. Why not? The sun is really very strong and at the height of its powers at the moment, and so do bring that into your spells today. The 5th of July is Old Midsummer. Now, this is Old Midsummer because of the calendar changes that have happened throughout the last few centuries or so. However, some people still celebrate Midsummer on this day. For example, Walton Village in Northumberland still have their Old Midsummer celebrations with their gigantic corn dolly or cairn baby, and light the Baal or Bale fire. Now, we've discussed this Midsummer fire in our previous video in June, and if you want to know about that, do have a look at it. I'll put that video up here for you should you just want to recap on the Baal fire, because you might want to use the 5th of July as your own mini Midsummer day. What you need to do is light the fire and leap over those flames and throw offerings to the sun into them, such as sun-governed flowers. Anything that has a yellow centre tends to be a sun-governed flower, such as a daisy. The 10th of July this year is Sea Sunday, and this is the day that the Christians designated as the day that you should pray for the souls and lives of our sailor folk. Now, you don't necessarily might want to go to church to pray for the souls of our sailor folk. You can, however, make that offering to the sea to preserve your loved ones as they set sail today. And one of the best ways to do this is simply to make a wreath of flowers and cast that upon the ocean as your boat is sailing out. It's a lovely old ritual, that one, and I do recommend it. The 5th of July is the night of the full moon. The Anglo-Saxons called this the wort moon, meaning herb moon. And it is also the night of the supermoon. Now, the supermoon this year is when the moon is looking at its biggest and brightest, and it will seem almost to have a halo around it as it rises up above the earth. So do look out for it. It is the night, therefore, where you should perform moon rituals. However, there's another ritual which I'd like you to do on this night, and that is to go out and gather moon-governed plants for future reference in your spells and potions. Moon-governed plants are at the height of their power at the moment, and picking them on the night of the full moon ensures that they have the moon's blessing added into this power. Online we'll have plenty of references to moon-governed plants, but my favourites: corn poppies, corn flowers, feverfew, lady's smock, lady's bedstraw, and speedwell. So if you pick any of these flowers, dry them tonight. They will be particularly potent in the months to come. The 15th of July is St Swithin's Day, and St Swithin's Day is very well known, and therefore I'm going to include it here as being a day that you predict the weather, because if it rains on St Swithin's Day, it's going to rain for the next 40 days, and if it is fair, it will set fair for the next 40 days. Climatologists do say that if the trend over St Swithin's Day is to be fair, then it will be fair for the future trend. So there we go. St Swithin's Day is also the day when it is the last day when you should christen your apples. Now, this is old proper pagan rite. You go out into your orchard and you bless and christen your apples, and you can christen them any name you like or mine, for example, to ensure a glorious crop come September. The 27th of July is when the Delta Aquarids, that amazing meteor shower, is at its height. And due to the fact that it's the new moon the next day, the sky is offering great viewing because it is dark, and so the light of the moon will not detract from the meteors. And what do you do when you see a shooting star? Well, of course, you make a wish. And then finally, we come to the 28th of July, which is the night of the new moon. The new moon is in Leo. Now, it is believed that new moons are a time for looking forward and forward planning for the next month. And each astrological sign has a significant characteristic which it imparts to this coming month. Leo is all about confidence and energy. And so for this month, it would be a great idea to plan some individual or group activities that involve fun, energy, parties, celebrations, etc. The sign Leo will ensure their success. as it's the 1st of July, it's an excellent time to join my Patreon supporters. The Coven meeting is coming up, and the Coven meeting is a great way to learn and enhance your witchcraft. Everybody loves that one. Go to patreon.com/Ginnymetheral for more details. Otherwise, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I really enjoy reading your comments and try and reply to as many as I possibly can. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helped my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in a few days.